Belly, honey, you two aren't ready for a commitment like this. You're talking about a lifetime.
Laura, I want to be with Belly for a lifetime. I can commit to that, easy.
That is how I know you aren't ready.
Is everything okay?
How are we supposed to do this without both of our moms?
The long wait is finally almost over for fans of The Summer I Turned Pretty because the third season is set to drop on Prime Video soon, and it's going to be the last one. This show, based on Jenny Han's best-selling trilogy, follows Belly Conklin and her summer spent at Cousins Beach with her two longtime friends, Jeremiah and Conrad. What makes it extra complicated is that Belly has been in love with Conrad since she was a kid, which makes all the usual summer fun a bit more emotional and intense. The story really kicks off during the summer before Belly turns 16, when a bunch of changes start happening, not just in her friendships but in her family too. And those changes shape how she feels about the people closest to her forever. The first two seasons really hit the mark, with both critics and viewers loving the show. Since the second season finale back in 2023, fans and readers alike have been anxiously waiting for the next installment, although there was a bit of a delay. The third season was pushed back for 2 years. Prime Video finally announced that the new episodes would start dropping on July 16, 2025. While everyone is buzzing with excitement about what's coming next, it's also been confirmed that this will be the end of the series. So no more The Summer I Turned Pretty beyond Season 3. One thing that helps explain why the show is ending now is that it's based on a trilogy, just 3 books. Jenny Han's original series came out between 2009 and 2011, and each season of the show covers 1 book from the trilogy. The first season adapts the first book, where we see Belly navigating first loves and heartbreaks, mostly focused on her feelings toward the 2 brothers, Conrad and Jeremiah, and this new guy, Cam, who enters the picture. Season 2 takes on the second book, It's Not Summer Without You, and things get heavier. There's family drama and emotional conflict, especially as the cousins deal with their mom Susanna's illness, and Belly's feelings for the brothers become even more complicated. So naturally, Season 3 is all about the last book in the trilogy, We'll Always Have Summer. This is the final chapter, and it's expected to show Belly moving toward the next phase of her life. She'll be figuring out how she really feels about Jeremiah and Conrad, while also preparing to say goodbye to those endless summers at Cousins Beach. It's a coming-of-age wrap-up, and since there are no more books after this, it makes sense for the show to finish the story here.
Donati, I'm looking for Julia.
Right, yes, for the open house. You know, Julia actually decided to cancel. Yeah, it's last minute, but she's having some second thoughts.
Gavin Casalegno, who plays Jeremiah, mentioned that Season 3 will finish the story Jenny Han started, which fits perfectly with the fact that the source material only includes 3 books. So it's pretty clear why Prime Video decided not to renew the show beyond this point. Stretching the story any further would probably feel forced and untrue to the original themes of growing up, friendship, family, and romance that the trilogy focuses on. In fact, a 4th season could even hurt the story because it would have to invent new plots beyond what Jenny Han wrote. That risks dragging things out too long and losing the emotional impact that comes from a well-told, contained story. Fans might see a Season 4 as unnecessary and not faithful to the heart of the books, which wouldn't be great for a show that's been so well-loved for its genuine storytelling. On another note, the show's use of Taylor Swift's music has become a kind of trademark, especially during the most romantic scenes. Many fans expect the 3rd season to keep that going because it really adds to the mood and vibe of the series. It's a little thing, but it's part of what makes The Summer I Turned Pretty feel special and relatable. One interesting detail about the 3rd book is that it includes an epilogue that jumps ahead in time, giving readers a glimpse of what happens to Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah after the main story wraps up. The show has made a few changes from the books, but it's mostly stayed true to the original trilogy. So if Season 3 follows that pattern, it could include this epilogue material, which would mean the series covers Belly's entire coming-of-age journey, leaving no loose ends. This also reinforces why a 4th season isn't necessary, because the love triangle will finally get its conclusion and other relationships will be wrapped up as well. Speaking of relationships, there's some serious drama brewing between Taylor and Steven, played by Rain Spencer and Sean Kaufman. Even though they weren't the main focus compared to Belly's complicated feelings for Conrad and Jeremiah.
It's funny, you know, my mom used to call me Connie whenever I was too in my head. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to bring everything down. I know the Order of the day is fun. Let's have some fun.
Their on and off relationship has been quite the roller coaster, especially during the 2-year gap between seasons. According to Spencer, Taylor and Steven have broken up and gotten back together so many times that even they aren't really sure what their relationship status is. It's confusing for them, but that's part of what makes their story authentic. They're figuring out how to be vulnerable and trust each other, even though they're scared of getting hurt. Spencer loves how real and imperfect their connection is because it's something a lot of people their age can relate to. Even though they mess up and hurt each other at times, they still care enough to keep trying. That freedom to not be perfect but still love each other is pretty cool. Because of the 2-year jump though, there might be some tension between Taylor and Steven early in season 3. Their relationship is more of a side plot in the books, only popping up here and there, but the show has expanded it, giving us a better look at their awkward will they won't they dynamic. Unfortunately, because the show skipped over what happened during those 2 years, viewers might feel a bit out of the loop when it comes to the problems that have built up between them. It's a tricky balance, but catching up on all the drama should give season 3 plenty to work with, even if Belly's love triangle remains the main focus. As Belly prepares to start college, Taylor and Steven's story could offer a nice subplot that adds depth and complexity to the final season. Their relationship might not be perfect, but it's definitely real, and that's something the show has always done well, showing that teenage relationships are messy, complicated, and full of ups and downs. Looking at the relationships in The Summer I Turned Pretty, it's clear that none of them have been smooth sailing. There's always been miscommunication, different priorities, and shifting feelings, which is part of what keeps the show so engaging. Taylor's feelings for Steven and her friend Milo, played by Will Spencer, have been just as complicated as Belly's connections to the brothers. Even though these relationships are messy and imperfect, that's what makes the characters feel real. It's possible that by the end of season 3, Taylor and Steven's confusing relationship will finally become something more solid. No matter where the show takes their story, it's likely to honor everything that's happened between them so far, the good and the bad. In the end, The Summer I Turned Pretty has always been about more than just romance. It's about growing up, learning to deal with complicated feelings, and figuring out who you are in the middle of all the chaos. So while fans are excited to see how Belly's story wraps up, there's also a lot to look forward to in the other characters' journeys, making this final season a bittersweet but satisfying conclusion. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop, and if you want, you can share your thoughts about this video in the comments.